channel on.
What's up, y'all? We got 4 viewers in here right now. We're having technical difficulties. For some reason, Facebook ain't letting anything stream. So let's help each other.
And pass the word.
And pass the word out. Let everybody know. Go to Command Bros YouTube, Joe. Yo, what's up? Lawrence just jumped in here, long shot. All right. We got to go and start letting people know that you can't do it on Facebook. Yeah. I don't know. What's that about? And look, it still won't even connect. Right, there we go, Jason. Yo, bros, get the word out.
Yeah, Jason Bryant's in the house.
Right, get the word out. Yeah, we running a little late due to technical difficulties.
Yeah, they're trying to stop it.
They're trying to stop the bros movement, trying to shut it down. Oh,
so I just put a.
How's that picture crooked? Yo, what's good?
What's good with you? Unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties. You know what? I'm not going to say technical. I said technical disorder.
Disorder.
You know what I'm saying? Because
tomfoolery. Right, it's all on Facebook, y'all. It's not on the bros.
Not on us.
I know y'all like, God damn, the bros can't be on time for shit.
Yeah, we actually was on time.
We was actually on time. Early. Everything was right. It was moving. Everything was set up right, and boom, next thing I know.
After lasagna, don't get none on it.
Right, so now we're here. Everybody knows we had a great weekend.
Right.
Now look here. Let's get people in here, y'all.
Yeah.
Right, nobody can even share Facebook. You see that?
Yeah.
So it's not even us, it's Facebook.
That's cool, though.
So don't share it to Facebook. Just type a message and tell everybody that the Bros is on
right now.
YouTube.
On YouTube.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through here. Type it in.
This is how much beer has been drank while we were trying to get on the Facebook. That's bad. But either way. So while he's doing that and you guys are doing that, I'm going to tell you what we was doing over there. How's that? So you know what it was this weekend? It was the most anticipated game to start the year off. It was the Bones and Nash. It was the Command Bros with Lex Luthor and Soldiers of Chaos against the 13th Legionnaires and the Apex Predators. And the game was every bit of epic as you could think it would be. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to put it to you straight. The end results was that the 13th Legionnaires were the victors of the game. But it wasn't like they beat on anybody, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We'll go through the schematics as we go down the line. But that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Also, we had Command Bros have brought on a new member of the Command Bros. Cherry Rogue is now a member of the Command Bros. She's going to be one that deals with mostly the MagFed games. And of course, you know, saying we're rolling to the MagFed games, and why not roll with the Cherry? She's on her own. She has her double pistols. She runs with the first strike rounds. Check her page out. She is on Instagram, and I'm sure she's on Facebook, and you'll be seeing more of her. So either way, outside of that, what else was there? It was the Nightlife, kicked it with the Legionnaires, kicked it with the 13th Legionnaires, the Apex Predators, a rack of people that are online, that is on the Facebook side of the world, not the YouTube yet, but I see they're slowly coming over one by one. There's 6 in a room now, and I'm going to pretend like there's 60.
Right, y'all got to start calling motherfuckers.
7 in the room now.
You know what I mean? Because right now, Facebook is not letting me share this at all.
Okay. I mean,
no, it's not letting me. It's not letting nobody.
I know. That's cool. You gotta call them. You gotta text them. You gotta go. You gotta go into your Facebook DM and be like, "Yo, they on YouTube."
Right. Because Hanu asked me for a link. I went to send him a link. It wouldn't even let me send him a link.
Let's go to Command Bros.
Right.
Command Bros on YouTube. It's that simple. It's not that hard. All right, so
yes, it's kind of a different show today now.
Not really. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We're just gonna,
okay, DJ Hanu found it.
Yeah,
he must have just jumped in the room.
Bow, right there.
I'm putting it up now. We are on YouTube. Command Bros TV. I don't know. Are they punishing us for something?
No, all right, good shit. They put in the Korean Consortium. They got a little button. If you're on Messenger, go to the Korean Consortium. You can hit the YouTube button. It'll send you right to the joint. Of course, you can't hear me because you're not on the joint, all right? So I'm talking to people that's already here, so I guess that was kind of obsolete. So.
Start liking it and sharing it to Twitter.
Whatever.
Share it to Twitter.
We'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out. Share this shit to Twitter.
See what we can do. So anyway, let's get down to the
nitty gritty. What y'all want to hear about? Let's get down.
I'm going to tell it to you exactly like it was. All right. First, I want to give you the game layout. It was. It was the Command Bros versus the Legionnaires, and basically from the door, you know what I'm saying, we had the opening ceremonies. There was a lot of people there that we know. There was the fully loaded Ronins. You know I love them. Yeah, amazing. Okay, that's what I need. That there was the SAS from Mid-Atlantic.
Was there?
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to them.
They was there. There was the Delta paintball. They was there. You know what I'm saying? Marcus was all over the place. He was with me most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Who else? There was the Green Devils.
Green Devils was there.
Who else? Now this is just like some blue.
Oh yeah, let's talk about how good the Crown Peach was. Ooh.
Now listen, I didn't know this had nothing to do with paintball, but at the same time it does, because a lot of my fellow paintballers are from Canada, and I thank Canada for coming out with the newest drink, Crown Royal Peach. Now that is something.
Something, huh?
Yes, indeed. So go out and check it out. But they also came out with Crown Royal Mesquite.
You said took them to the church in the pregame. Y'all gonna see the video.
I don't want to give too much away. Basically, what happened was when we started it off. Let's look at the misconception of what they thought was going to happen.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Let's look at what they
I like that.
Like that right there. Yeah. You know I'm trying to set up so you can see what's going on, and
I got you.
I can see how many are in the room.
Right. Okay. Well, how about that? You know what I'm saying? We don't worry about that because that's too much.
Right there.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So there we go. All right, so let's tell them. Let's say what they thought was.
They thought the Command Bros was going to show up, and these niggas is just internet motherfuckers.
Right. They thought it was just going to come out here and we was going to be like, oh, yeah, you blah, blah, blah.
They're funny on TV, but, they can't command, they can't play and shit.
No, we do that actually. But basically what happened, when we came out, we took them to church like DJ said. We hyped the crowd up.
Hyped the crowd,
you know what I'm saying? Whether you wore in a blue or a red, I'm sure
you wanted to be blue. Once we finished talking, you wanted to be blue.
Either way, you had the feeling that you wanted to go out and war. All right, so that was cool. The blue team, of course, was rallied up. We came out the gate. Now, mind you, we didn't get to walk the field like on Friday.
Right, we were late. We apologized. We were late.
I'm not going to apologize, yo. I'm a regular ass motherfucker. I got kids. I got a life such and such. And we would like to have gotten here about 2, but we ended up getting here about 9. No, 8. We was 8. Right, it was about 8.
So we didn't even go to the field. We couldn't. It was close. Friday night.
Right, we could, but it was dark.
So we went to Bojangles.
We could. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. But we had, reliable players to basically circumvent the field and get a feel of it and what's going on, such and such. And that will be Soldiers of Chaos.
Right.
So, of course, they made sure everything was taken care of. Our homie Mamba, he made sure that he sat in on the pre-game briefing, so we knew about how the props work, things of that nature, such and such. But overall, we were stepping into the field kind of blind. And when we got there, we did do a quick walk around, but the field is so big. It's about 50 acres. You know what I'm saying? If you watched the video before, I think it's 50 acres.
All right. Well, you talked to him?
Yeah, that's what he said. So either way, I thought it was like 90, but it's like 50. But it was a big 50.
Okay.
Big 50, all right? And they play every inch of it. It's great, you know what I'm saying? It's a fantastic field. But you can't walk 50 acres in like 15, 20 minutes. You can't do it. Or half an hour. We had about a half an hour. So we seen them basically, you know what I'm saying, the first...
That's the video everybody saw.
Right.
The first video. That was the first time we had seen the field. And we basically walked from this 13th Legionnaire insertion to our insertion.
We'll just say the red insertion to our insertion, and basically everything that we could see from, you know what I'm saying. It was a clear day, so you could see about, you know what I'm saying, pretty far. But, there's foliage and this, that, and the other. You really can't really know the field until you're out there into it. But it still wasn't bad, because I told you, even if you go to a field, you're not familiar with the land, you always have to have a plan in your back pocket. And we do. So, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't that bad. So when we got there, you know what I'm saying, we rallied up the troops. We got them onto the field. Oh, they was fired up.
You know hit them quick. Bam!
Yeah, we gave out our orders, told them to shut down the pipeline, hit the such and such, blah, blah, yada, yada. Yeah. Oh, man. Yo,
it was lovely.
They didn't know what the fuck hit them. Like, they was like, whoa. They was like,
and if we are lying, somebody chime up right the fuck now.
Yeah, if we're lying.
Anytime y'all think we're lying, say something in the chat.
For real, if you're going to lie about this game, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
All right. Just call it how it is. So we hit them hard from the door.
From the door.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's having a good time. And from my understanding is they were not only, you know what I'm saying, like, they were sort of unprepared at the very beginning. Something that they didn't hear the whistle, this, that, and the other. We knew what time the game started. We went off the watch.
Right.
Go! Let's go. So we handled that shit, right? So basically, we hit them on that. We shut them down in the pipeline. We start smashing these missions, you know what I'm saying, getting this, that, and the other. But it got to a certain point on the first day.
Hold up. We got 8 people in the room, and there is no likes.
That is kind of crazy.
So until I get some likes, energy's not going to continue the story. You can't be sitting in here not liking their shit, not telling nobody. You know what I mean? Like, y'all be selfish. Y'all be holding this for yourself.
That is a shame, yo.
Look at this. See, now that we're doing this YouTube
likes. Wow.
Right. We get to see.
We should have at least 8 likes.
At least 8 likes.
Y'all can't press like on it? 2, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I know
see
that
what I'm saying?
Hanu.
Right, that's probably Hanu and Lawrence and shit. Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, real
Thank you,
shit.
Jason. Real shit. All
That's what I'm talking about.
Sitting in the room.
Right, you're like,
it ain't nobody liking our shit.
Popcorn and
You're
shit.
right. You're selfish. You cannot hold the bros to yourself, man. If we don't get the likes, people don't know we're here.
Right.
How we gonna grow the sport?
Anybody grow the sport is that somebody.
Hey, come on, y'all. God damn.
Wow.
Roll up, Kill. Yeah, seriously, Kill. Roll up. You
There's nobody here anyway.
Right. Holly's pretty busy listening to details. I know you is, baby. And once again, I like to thank Holly for giving us the opportunity to shine.
Right.
And when we shine, baby, you shine.
We hope. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna put it to you like this. This was our first.
This man ain't got no like button, Charlie Brown.
Charlie, get out of the room,
Get
man.
the fuck out the room if you ain't got no
Get out of the room, Charlie. But you know, this was our first international general position.
National.
Right. National. Right.
Soon to be international.
Soon to be international.
Ash for coming.
And yeah, it wasn't too far from what we already do, but it was a learning experience. It wasn't like we were going to go here, and I really didn't expect to go in. And I said that I really didn't expect to go in there and just just dominate motherfuckers.
Right.
But I did go in there that we're going to handle it. I knew there were going to be situations that might be, you know what I'm saying, new experience, or maybe, you know what I'm saying, something that we have to learn along the way. And that's all very good, because either way, if you go into something and there's no learning experience, then it wasn't worth going into it in the first place. Life. So, like what was I saying? We hit them hard from the first. We hit them from the pipeline. We took this the Commodore.
Look, how to say, you guys did good on Saturday. You did great in capital letters. You know, that means the motherfuckers hollering on the internet.
Right. All right. I'm going to give you the battle report on where we believe that things were down. Now, I can't give you the whole perspective on how it does. He'll fill in on that part, the gaps, because we were on two different parts of the field. All right. Now, mind you, I'm going to throw a little bit at Lex on this one. Our downfall.
One of them. We go ahead.
One of them. I'm going to say the only one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Our only downfall would have been where you would have actually been able to circumvent.
Right.
If you was there, we would have motherfucking pissed all over.
Yeah, we would have pissed all over the 13.
Because our real shit, our shit was smashing them from the door. Wow. Had your boy standing up talking about, really, I didn't do anything. It was all him because he was nervous.
Nervous. We was already in their head with the trouble shit.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We played all types of mind games, this, that, and the other. Overall, man, I mean, the game was so fun to me. There was the one time that it was me and B.R.O.S.
Said indeed.
Yeah, it was me and B.R.O.S. and on the other side of the net, we was waiting for, you know what I'm saying, the missions and shit, and then it was Joey and Crash, and I think even Mac on the other side of that. They was playing though, but we was just talking so much shit back and forth to each other. I mean, I wish I had that shit on video. If somebody was there and they was secretly, you know what I'm saying, videotaping that, send that shit to me, because it was so fun. So, you know what I'm saying, it was a gentleman's game. You know what I mean? The boys came out, they played, they talked shit.
Came to play, everybody they brought came to play.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of, smudge removal.
Oh, yeah.
I expect that on both sides.
It was wiping.
I know there was wiping on the blue side, even though I didn't hear about it. Because, first of all, when you're getting your ass smacked on, because for 3 hours, no lie, they smacked on the ass.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So basically, we'll say how it is. After we shut the pipeline down, and then Brick start maintaining the front line, I took a squad on the far left-hand flank, you know what I'm saying? Well, the idea was to keep them pushed on the outside skirts, you know what I'm saying, to cut off the middle and the far right-hand side. The right-hand side, we dominated. There wasn't fucking with that at all, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, all you guys that came out for the blue team, you did a fantastic job. The only thing that we need to do is play with each other more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We had a lot of new first-time players.
We had a lot of new walk-ons, this, that, and the other, and I am very proud of you guys. You guys pulled together. You were really mama bearing the shit out of me. Yo, get it back. Get it, Jordan. No, I got you. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, the protection was off the chain, for real, for real.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying, the more we play together, the more we get the understanding on how one another reacts to things that we like to do, you know what I'm saying? And that's in any game, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter on the red team or the blue team, you know what I mean? It's all the same, you know what I'm saying? The funner the game becomes, the more with it you will become, the better at the game you will become. So that's a great thing. So, but outside of that, like when we started to flank the left-hand side, that's when we, you know what I'm saying, we had to get the hydrologist and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And man, these guys, I swear, man.
And you know what? I'm not even going to say, but being that Luther was coming, this game was more mission oriented than the regular Legends game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So there was like a scientist, a geologist.
It was kind of complex. Not too complex, but it was kind of complex. You know what I mean? Like you had to, like, for instance, if you had to go get a water sample, right? A hydrologist to collect that water sample. The water sample might be contaminated. So you'll need a scientist to purify the water. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, advantageous to have the scientists with you. It was just, you know what I'm saying, you had to, you know, double think things. You know what I mean? Now, as far as the missions went, I really didn't involve myself too much in the missions. I was the dude who was going to get you there. You feel me? He was the one who handed it out, him and B.R.O.S, and basically maintained the structure of the battlefield. And basically, I was just filling in pockets where that would need be. So, like, if we were weak on a certain side, hopefully that can move my guys over and, you know what I'm saying, harass them and split the forces up. You know what I'm saying? It worked up to a point, but about, I don't know, say, the game started at, like, what, 11?
Mm-hmm.
When do you think we got hit in the spawn?
I'd say maybe about close to 1 o'clock.
Right.
You know what I mean? Motherfuckers started transforming off the field.
Right.
You know, and it's not even like it was like, you know, people might be going to get some. People were going to get paint, air, you know what I mean? And Red took this opportunity to make their move. And
that's part of the game.
Part of the game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if you don't really calculate for that, it could be a major downfall, which it was for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's learning experience, like we said. So, like, with this particular game, there is no lunch break. All right, so that means you can come on and off the field whenever you want. Whenever, and that's normally every game, but without a lunch break, you know what I'm saying? There's really nobody to tell you when to come off and then go back on. Right. So if the field is about, you know, 50 acres, you don't know if your people was just out there in the field or they're off the field. Yeah, right. So, you know, it depends on how the situation is set up. Also, when you rumble like for a determined amount of time, you know what I'm saying, fatigue and different things come in, but it's going to be different for everybody else. Some people are going to come off way later. Some people are going to come off earlier. You know what I'm saying? Some are going to get comfortable. Some people are just going to be there, you know what I'm saying, just to play for maybe an hour, 45 minutes. It depends, you know what I'm saying? Some of the teams, if you have, and this is the difference between walk-ons and teams. You know, if you have a team, then you have a set minded and you probably play for a long time, because you have an agenda. But a walk-on, you know what I'm saying, you're more out there to have a good time, but at the same time, you're not part of the team. You do what you want, which is good, but at the same time, all this has to be calculated for the game if you're playing a command role. So that's something that we learned, and because normally we never really get spawn point.
Spawn sit.
Right. And the numbers of this game was what? This was the largest game that we general.
Yes. This was the largest game that we ever general.
Yeah. Usually ours would be like 100 or under. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, this was. And this game was 40% larger than Bone and Ash last year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But overall, I think we did a fantastic job.
Shout out to Savage. Oh, matter of fact, there's only a couple motherfuckers in this room, but let's. You know what I mean? Now we're on a new platform. I don't know if we're going to be on YouTube permanently now, but I'm liking the YouTube setup, so we might be moving to YouTube. You know what I mean? But right now, your boys is messing up. So let's get this down.
We got my man Lewis right in the house.
In the house.
What's up with you? Lex Luthor. Jason Bryant is in the house. Charlie Brown, you better hit like, is in the house.
Ohio 13th, Bridget Mail.
3D is in the house. What's up with you? Who else we got up in this piece? It's like awesome. Jason Raymond's in the house. DJ Fox, Anu is in the house.
John Raymond in the house.
Jason Bryant is in the house.
Listen, okay, we'll get back to that. Like I said, it's a new platform. Every show we do ain't busting the millions.
I don't know what's up with Facebook.
But let's look at some of these comments. Hanu said he's the head cheerleader. 433 players.
Okay. 433 players. It said Lawrence. It's why bigger teams and sister brother teams can have an advantage as they have. What do you think?
A natural
check-in, and management built into social dynamics. You're absolutely right. So, you know what I'm saying? But that's cool, though, because that's something that the newer player has to learn. And the only way you can learn that is through failure. I keep trying to tell everybody, you know what I'm saying, like learning is synonymous with
right. Like if we would have came out here and smashed the 13th, we wouldn't have learned anything.
Yeah, we wouldn't. We would have learned.
We'd have learned 13.
We would have had a lot of extra shit to talk about. It's mean and shit. But no, actually, 13 Legionnaire is a formidable team.
And the Apex Predators.
Yeah, and the Apex Predators. They've been playing with each other for a while, and this, that, and the other. But at the same time, I know we shocked and all.
Thank you.
Shocked and all of them, you know what I'm saying, with the Command Bro command structure.
Right.
And it worked, you know what I'm saying? So, Soldiers of Chaos, big factor in that.
Jason, big factor.
Big factor.
And that was his first command. So.
He did very well, you know what I'm saying? His communications were, you know what I'm saying, extraordinary. And then we also have Bricktop. He basically did the entire general line on the field.
Yeah, I never really.
I came out the field.
Yeah, he came out the field.
I was chilling. My leg cramped up.
I think Saturday I was on the field all day. The only time I ate, and shout out to my man Crash, he gave me a burger because their tent was right behind our insertion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to somebody bought me a burger. It was my man Romulus.
Right.
Yeah, buy me a burger. Thanks.
So he gave me a burger, but that was the only thing I ate Saturday until I got home and got some of that Bojangles.
Yeah.
You know,
that was another big mistake that I did. I really didn't drink or eat anything.
And Sunday, I think I came out one time and had 2 hot dogs.
Yeah, I ate and drank Sunday. It wasn't that bad, so on the ride home. But like Saturday, when they say drink your water and all that shit, you really should. I didn't. I was out there in the woods because the field is so big. You know what I mean? You want to get back out there. And then another thing, like, you know, where our insertion was, in order like to re-up, you had to like walk. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just a lot. And what made me sit down was when I went to go get more air and ammo, the truck was locked. Because Longshot had the keys. You feel me? So I sat down and then it was just like, yo.
We got a lot of footage.
Yeah, we got tons of footage.
It's going to be a couple videos off of this. It's
Now, listen, these guys that ran with the Command Bro, especially like
Proving Ground, Delta.
I was going to say Fully Loaded Ronin.
Fully Loaded Ronin. Much shout out to Fully Loaded Ronin.
Yeah. Command Bro's Ronins, yo.
Yeah.
We're Ronins now.
Yeah. We might have to steal them out the coalition. Like, the coalition. The Command Bros are Ronins that play with the coalition.
Right. Sort of, kind of.
The Ronins were Command Bros.
Down with the motherfucking Ronins. Right. Listen. Token Ronin.
Oh, my goodness.
He's like a ninja. He's like, you know how you be watching, like, you know, let me think of something. Like Ninja Scroll or some shit. He's one of the 8 devils of Kimon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He might be the Shadow Ninja. I don't know which one, you know what I'm saying? But the dude's dope. Token gets in there. He gets the job done.
Gets it done.
Done. And there's a rack of them. You know what I'm saying? There's Donnie. There's the etc. I and E.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's Silent. There's
Hercules.
I said Herc. Didn't I say Herc? There's Zach. I ran with Zach like all morning. Then there's Cotton. Pretty ass motherfucker. Then there's who else? Quartermaster. He wasn't there though. You know what I'm saying? There's a rack of motherfucking Ronins. If you look them up.
Look them up.
Who else? Who was the man was from SAS Atlantic? He was with me all day too. He had the all black on. I told you to write your name down. So write your name down. Make sure you
shout out to Modern Day Pirates.
Modern Day Pirates in there.
Charge. Jason and Mary ran the charge.
Right. Rocky was there.
They were like the third
faction that basically was just there to fuck your day up.
Fuck your day up.
That's what they was.
Right.
Basically. So basically you would have a mission, this, that, and the other. And the way the game is, you know what I'm saying, the Legion is playing hard, we're playing hard, and then you just got these people, they coming in just to fuck everything up, you know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking, okay, we got here the red team, and then there's the Char, they're coming up. That's a Popeye shot me in the face. But I thought we was fighting going up against the red team when we had the, you know what I'm saying, on the second day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was holding compound.
Right.
That was all Char on the other side by that joint.
Yeah, Char to spawn at that compound.
They was all right by the flag that we needed to get. That was like, come on. And then they had this like little this tower, right? Or like a silver cone and shit, and it's a whistle and shit. So when you hit that, the Char gets released. The only way you can really get rid of the Char is to get rid of this tower. You know what I'm saying? So you have to actually like beat them down and then hit the button, and then the ref will take that shit, and then you can shoot the rest of them, then they would die, or they would just keep unlimited respawn. That's how that faction worked, of course. And then there was the way the field is set up. It's 50 acres. There is a giant compound, like basically in the middle of the field, and then on the far left-hand side, or right-hand, depending how you're entering the field, we're just going to say if you're coming in from the trailer side, when I say trailer, I'm talking about the pro shop and shit. There's like these buses and whatnot. So on the far left-hand side, you have the pipeline. And that's basically these giant ass ceramic, or should I say cement pipes. You know what I mean? Sticking out the ground, they stacked on top of each other. And of course, there's those giant ass, what's it called?
Containers.
Containers stacked on top of each other. They got windows cut out, shit, that, the other. That runs on the far left-hand side. If you're outside of that field, you can actually see inside of the pipeline what's jumping off, because there's a nice little net there. You know what I'm saying? Once you get past that, if you go on towards the right of that, that's when you get like the compound. The compound is like, the sea containers again. Forms off into a giant ass rectangle, so to be, about 2 stories high. In the middle of that, there's a sniper tower that's like 40 stories or 40 feet high, 40 feet high sniper tower. You up in that, he was in there, you're murdering people. You're dumping on them. You're giving them ruckus. So they have that part, and then you go back, there's even more cinder blocks, like they're not even cinder blocks.
The field was excellent. Much shout out. You'll see an interview coming with the owner of the field.
Swamps and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was in water up to my knees.
Yeah.
And once it goes past your cast, the waterproof boost is out the window.
Yeah, that
you know what I mean? So the one we were going to do a mission. Actually, I'm gonna drop the video today, and it's just a video. What happened was we went to go somewhere and do a contamination mission. We had to contaminate water. We got there was no ref. No ref showed up. I whipped out the camera to videotape it so we could show it to the ref, kind of find out the mission had already been completed. Our mission was countered, so we had lost. But I got this footage. It's like us standing there for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to put it up later on today. Something real short.
Right.
But
overall, the field is something to play at. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, we've played towards, it's going into springtime. So there really isn't that much foliage. Now, I say you go 2 months, yo.
My God. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. How it's going to look in...
Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm telling you what it is. They're like, there's a lot of cover that's there, and the leaves weren't there. But once that shit goes in, it's going to be 10 times what we play right now.
Why is Facebook?
Fuck Facebook. Don't even fuck with them no more.
Yo, is anybody else's Facebook acting up to where they can't share shit?
Yeah, everybody shit. They know what it is.
Your shit is too? Okay.
So anyway, you know what I'm saying? That was that part. So when we first started off for the first hour, you know what I'm saying, we slammed them. Second hour, we was like tied. And by the time I came out from the flanking party, you know what I mean, that's when they was sort of like spawn trapped us, you know what I mean? And the way it was set up, it was like a very, very long green line, you know what I'm saying? That it was a buffer area that they couldn't come in. But the point was they wasn't at the green line. They were like maybe 20 feet past that. So therefore, if you did step out the green line and you got shot up, you know what I'm saying, you would still have to pull back. It was just kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? So as far as the whole game aspects, I thought it was a cool game. I mean, a couple things can be tweaked, you know what I mean? Because in my understanding on how these games should be built, and I understand that everybody wants them to be complex and this, that. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You have to do this bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And that's great. But the bottom line should be the flow of the game, okay? You really don't want any choke points or, you know what I'm saying, a situation where the game becomes dead. And basically you're just like, well, you know what I'm saying? You just got to figure it out. You know what I mean? That's right at the time, but at the same time, at the expense of people not having fun, that's not why they're there. You know what I mean? So, like on any games, like there's certain scenario games that I have played where it eliminates these certain aspects of the negative side of the game. And when I say negative, I don't mean like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not, you know what I'm saying, something where both sides are feeling good. Okay. Like for instance, when you go to the final battle, all right, even though, like, we'll say one of the sides are dominating the slapsticks, both of the sides are feeling good at the same time because they're in there shooting. You know what I'm saying? They're working and they're such and such. Even though they might not be grabbing that slapstick or somebody, they might be stopping such and such. They're both, the interaction is there. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like a spawn camp, it's almost like this. Okay, look at it from this perspective. It's like if you watched a Command Bro video and there was downtime. You know, when you watch the paintballer who had his own little show and he's talking about something and then this comes. Yeah.
What the fuck is you doing?
So I'm showing them the downtime.
Right.
This is what happens in the same aspect of a paintball game. It becomes boring, and then you're more liable to change the channel because it's like, they're not really there. The flow has to be there. You know what I'm saying? Despite of whether what team is winning or losing or such and such, that should be the main premise of the game. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna win. Somebody's gonna lose. But the most important thing is the flow. All right? The flow. Somebody's gonna win. Somebody's going to lose. But it is a more satisfying effect if you win because you won. You feel me? Or you lost because we lost. Damn, you know what I'm saying? But when there's that stagnant time for both sides, you're going to get that dull feeling. All right? So you'll say the guy with the who's being spawn camped. This happened to us. All right, hold on. You got the guy who been spawn camped. I know, you know what I'm saying? Whoever's the promoter, they're always going to tell me, well, the reason why we try such and such, I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, whatever solution you can do, if it's happening in your game, then you didn't figure it out. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how your method is, what scenario promoter is. I don't give a fuck what it is. It always has to be a flow. That's across the board. That's across the board.
When it comes to spawn camping, though, you got to figure out how to get out of that.
I'm not saying that that's not a part of the game. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
All right. And I'm not saying that bothered me. You didn't see me crying about it at the game, did you? No, y'all motherfuckers was telling me, hey, you need to get these people rallied up. I'm like, hey, if they don't want to go out there, they don't want to go out there. That's me. But I'm just pointing out how the player, especially the new guy, you know what I'm saying? Not us who play. We always got to think about the walk-on. You know what I'm saying? How the new guy is going to interpret the game from his perspective. So you want it to be flow. So look at it from this perspective, outside of the Command Bros having dead time. If you got on a roller coaster, you know what I'm saying, maybe you ate something such and such and you threw up the first time, you're not going to ride it again. And you're going to be like, well, you just got to make sure you don't eat. And you're like, nigga, I threw up the first time. I don't want to go back to that. Well, let's ride this other here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. It has to become down to the enjoyability of the game. So, yeah, spawn camping is going to happen. All right. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that's going to happen. But overall, when you write a game, you want to try to write it so it doesn't. But at the same time, listen, I'm not saying it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's going to happen.
Right.
All right.
You can't write it so it don't happen.
No.
That just has to be something that they have to stop being spawn. Like my new objective now is to spawn camp niggas and not be spawn camped anymore.
I'm not saying that.
Period. Regardless if you write it in your story or not, we're spawn camping.
That's cool. And I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Did you hear what I said? I said it's going to happen. I didn't say it should happen. You have to take it out the game.
I don't think he wrote it in.
I didn't say that. It's funny how everybody's saying everything that I'm not saying.
I'm not saying that it was written. You said like you can't. What are you saying? What you can't include it in the game?
If you let me finish what I'm saying, maybe you'll know what the fuck I'm saying. All right. What I'm saying is, when you write a game overall, when you go to a scenario game, it doesn't matter what side you are. There are certain things that's going to happen that you have to like work out so the game flows all together. Like for instance, I'm going to use Mission Masters. All right. Mission Master games are put together to the point where it always flows. There has never been a time that I've been in a Mission Master game that somebody worried about, oh man, other than the terrain, you can't do nothing about the terrain. You know what I'm saying? The terrain is what it is, such and such. Even he has his little, you know what I'm saying, points where, you know what I'm saying, it might be fucked up, but I'm just saying that part is not part of it. The way his shit is put together, it's not.
Yeah, well, he makes it so.
I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying about the flow of the game. It will be nice. There has been games that I've been to that it constantly flowed for me. Like, how about Smoldering Steel? All right. And that's a relatively very small game. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think we won that game. Did we win? I was going against you on that one, right? And I lost that game. But that game was so exciting. You know what I mean? It's the little skirmishes. Everybody wants to stay in a little skirmish. You feel me? So, you know, that's just something that everybody has to work on. Honey, I'm not saying that this was your fault. I'm not saying it is a fault at all. I am just pointing out from the perspective of walk-ons.
You can't write a game and not and protect it against spawn.
I didn't say that.
No, you saying don't. You said.
What am I saying?
You saying keep it going flowing so spawning won't happen. No. Spawn camping won't happen.
I'm not saying that at all.
You said the game has to go smooth.
Right.
So spawning won't happen.
No, I'm not saying that. I said spawn camping is going to happen.
Right.
Right. I said, but the game has to be smooth and keep flowing. So this is what I'm saying, all right? Even though you have an attribute that's going to happen, it shouldn't happen forever.
No, that's up to you to get out of that spawn.
But that's my point. Now, this is what I'm saying, okay? You're putting something on a player. You don't know who these players are. So what my point is, listen, it comes down to profit, all right? Now, everybody had a fantastic time because the game was great, all right? But some games, like when we went to Maryland, right? The game wasn't that great. You feel me? So in my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to go back. Not really. The MagFed joint.
But that didn't have nothing to do with it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's the same thing. Each game is going to have an element that's going to make it stale. And then you have to work to make it better for the player. You can't just be on some, you got to figure that out. No, for the next game, you have to figure because that's what you want to do. You're an entertainer. You feel me? You're building something, you know what I'm saying? Like it's across the board. Now, I'm not saying that you have to work out, spawn camping or this, that, and the other, blah, 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 but it is an issue. You feel me? You have to think about things of that nature. We, as commanders, have to think about things of that nature. Because, like, when I'm a commander, it's not about just winning the game, because somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. But it's about the richness of the game, the aspect of the game. You feel me? Now, at the point where we were where we were trapped in the spawn, when I came in, I was coming in from the far left-hand side of the field. You know what I'm saying? It was a long walk. I was shot out, and then I get to this spot, and then it's like, now you can't go anywhere. And they're like, yeah, you got to rally everybody up. So, yeah, we have mostly walk-ons. That means teams that aren't really together. All right. But there are a lot of teams there. And then when me and Romulus was trying to rally him up, it's on tape, and moving such and such. Some people moved up. I was like, come on. You know what I'm saying? I did all that shit. But the motherfuckers don't want to shoot. What am I supposed to do? Smack them in their motherfucking face? They out here. They spent their money to play their game. All right. Now, if it's the rules say you can't leave, you know what I'm saying? These people are not hardballers. This comes down to what I said before. Nobody gives a fuck about paintball. This is what this means. All right. If it was a football game and you was like, come on, we need one more push. Yeah, all those players will give a fuck about that little win or whatever and do that. In paintball, you don't get that. You get that in the beginning, you get that in the spurts, you get that in certain teams. But overall, if a motherfucker's tired, they're going to be like, I was out there. They'll tell you every excuse on why they want it. And it's up to them to play the way they want to play. And that's cool. I'm not going to badge you about coming out here such and such. You got to go home and deal with that pain. Just like I had to ride home with a cramped up leg in the back. You know what I'm saying? Twice. Thank God the truck was big, because I was like, oh my God. But still, you feel me? You have to understand that this is a recreational sport. And even though it's competitive on a friendly level, you feel me? We old ass motherfucking men. I was out there from 11, maybe 2:30, from 11 to 2:30. That was like 4 hours of heavy fucking mud sucking my foot in the ground every time I lifted my knee to pull it out. You feel me? 46 I was out there. Now, that's just me, and I'm in way better shape than most of these motherfuckers out here. You feel me? Now, the kids, they was doing what they was doing, and they was having a good time and this, that, and the other. Hey, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Now, we lost because of that particular spawn section, and it was fucked up for I don't know how many hours. It doesn't really matter, but we didn't lose. You know what I'm saying? When we were out there playing, all our tactics worked. You feel me? But by the time I got there, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Either people are going to have the drive for it, or they're not, period. And even if you, what? Please say. You did not have mostly walk-ons. Don't rewrite the event to change what happened. You taken away from the teams and players who busted their tails for you. All right. That's what they told me, that we had more walk-ons than the other team. And I'm not taking away. We'll just say the teams. Even the teams. You know what I'm saying?
I think we should have rallied when that. To me, at that time when the spawn shit happened, that's when the ralliness steps up. When everybody starts rallying each other and shit. And maybe that's what we lacked at that time. Go get the motherfuckers and bring them back out there.
Now listen, this is my point. You guys think that I'm making excuses. I'm not. I'm just saying this is what it is. You feel me? I was there. You can ask Romulus. That's not even his call sign though, but for real. From social, we was both there on the front line. We tried to rally these people. You feel me? If they're not going to move, they was moving around. Some of them came, some of them didn't, yada, yada. People walked it off. But, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You understand? There's nothing wrong with that. That's just what it was. Now, when we told them to do, smash that pat line, do yada, yada, blah, 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 such and such. That's just what it is. It's not like I'm trying to take away from the game. I'm not saying that these players didn't bust their ass. I'm not saying that because there was a rack 'em up. There was too many of them that was putting in mad work to say that they weren't. But at that particular time, if you look at it, if you got, you start off, everybody gets there at what? 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, right? 8 in the morning. The game starts at 11. They played their heart outs till what? When do they get trapped?
Well, between 1 and 3.
All right. So 1 and 3. Well, I'm mad at them because they got trapped. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Some of them went off the field. They got something to eat. Some of them went to go get something to drink, such and such. That's fine. That's what it is. And I'm not taking anything away from these players. Overall, I mean, I had a fantastic time. Everyone that I seen in my immediate area was putting in work, this, that, and the other. But at that point in time, I even walked out the field. You know what I'm saying? My leg was cramping up. I sat down by the truck for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to you. He called me, Energy, where you at? I said, I'm parking lot pimping, dog. I had no inkling on going back out until I had to go back out. So I'm not rewriting the game. I would never sit here and tell you that, oh, well, we would have won such it wasn't for players. No, I'm saying it was played exactly the way it was played. It was the first time that we were at this field. It was the first time we were commanding this many people. It was the first time I played with a lot of these players that just watched me on this show, this, that, and the other. And overall in all, we were the winners. And I predicted that before we even played the game. You feel me? So don't think that I'm trying to spin it. Now, the only thing I'm saying is that particular issue that came into a factor of our side of the play, I believe TB is more of an expert in that area than I am.
Now,
If I'm wrong,
you on that. The TB was there.
Right.
That spawn camp would have been handled.
If I'm wrong, say that I'm wrong.
Right.
But everything
there, the spawn camp be here.
Right.
And that was a fault. Because we're used to spawn camping motherfuckers and not really get at our games. We're not stuck in the spawn.
And for real, honestly, it wasn't spawn camping like y'all think. It wasn't like the line was right here and these motherfuckers was right on the other edge shooting. It was nothing like that. All right. So they really weren't spawn camping. They just had the perimeter set up such in a way
so we couldn't get out of our
that
spawn.
You couldn't even get past the line. It was brilliant. For real. So it wasn't like, oh man, they was on a line spawn camping. It was not like that at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, for the circumstance at hand, I think TB would have been a better expert at that point. That's all. But it is what it is. I wish there was no spawn camping. And believe me, they were not spawn camping in the way that you think it was. It's just how they had the perimeter set up, the side of the field. It was more advantageous for them than it was for us. That's all I'm saying. Each one of those players on the red team played their heart out. They played an honorable game. You feel me? I'm not saying they're cheaters. I'm not saying they shot hot. I'm not saying any of that shit. I'm just telling you what happened from my perspective. All right, now I'm going to tell you what I could have done differently. When I went into the first half of the game, I ran my death card ego. And that would be, you know what I'm saying, going out into the field and flanking. But I really should have stayed with Brick and been Energy 1 and kept the front line morale up. That's the difference that I think we should have did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would have stopped the...
That right there might not have stopped the spawn, but we would have been able to push the spawn back faster than when we finally did.
No, I think it would have stopped the spawn altogether because I would have seen it coming. And then I would have maintained the front line while you could have did the shit with B.R.O.S. You know what I'm saying? I think there was a little bit too much on you. I'm not saying you couldn't handle it. I'm just saying it would have been ran smoother if we was
delegated more shit off. Right.
Yeah, so don't think, Hannah, I'm telling you, oh man, you wrote a fucked up game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, out of all the games that I played, when it comes down to that issue, you know what I mean, that's when the morale drops and people fall off, and then that's the arguing and such a blah, blah. And as a community, we need to figure that out. That's all. And whether it be, you know what I'm saying, we come up with set battle tactics to how to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I guess, and that's why we go back. That's where Lawrence would have fell in, because he's experienced with spawn camping motherfuckers and being spawn camping.
See, what you guys really don't understand is you have all this experience in paintball, but like the players change. You feel me? And they don't know what the fuck you know. So you pulled this dope ass game, and if you play with everybody of your peers, You feel me? Oh yeah, it's dope, and yeah, that was a good move. But you're not playing with people of your peers. You're playing with people of lesser. You feel me? They're just now. You're bringing this back to the world of paintball, and you want to be throw all this shit in and blah blah blah, which is cool. But we have to think on how this new player thinks. You feel me? How he is, you know what I'm saying, represented and thinks how he should move around in this field. The mind construct is not the same. The attention span is a lot shorter, and the instant um, they want the instant gratification is exactly that. That's what they want. So this is what I'm saying. Now, if you take it back to like TB, Hanu, and Iraq, all y'all been playing for years, and this type of style is gravy, and you understand that because as soon as we say something, oh, you guys, hey, you do this, and then you such blah blah blah. But to the beginner player, they're not going to know that. They're just going to be like, oh man, I don't want to play this game. That's how it is. Remember the old video games? When you died, you played it harder. Now you died. This game is stupid. And they'll go to the one that's easy for them. So that's what I'm trying to convey to everybody. I'm not saying that the games are bad. I'm not saying such. I'm just saying we need to figure out a way to make sure that it's not stagnant for anybody. Because not even, we'll just say for the people on that's.
That's what Lawrence just said. Or you'll just play the same game over and over.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We'll look at it from the people who was dominated from the other side. It becomes stagnant for them too. You know what I'm saying? It becomes boring.
Because we did put the press on Red Spawn. I don't think it just happened to us. Yeah. Saturday was a learning experience. Sunday, we whooped ass.
Yeah. But the point being is, it'd be boring for both sides sometimes. Because there was times like when we were at Prince George County, you know what I'm saying? And there was a time that the Spawn was being pressed, and the guys who was pressing the Spawn was like, "Hey, you know what, you guys? This is Bobby Beer, man. He was like, you know what, you guys? This is I'm just letting you go. We're gonna go back here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and I was right behind him about to shoot his ass up. And I was like, man, I'm so glad you did because I was about to light you up. He was like, yeah, man, it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have the conditions when we're going back. Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, hopefully, there's only 8 people in the room. Maybe you can convey to everybody. Well, I'll probably put it online to tell everyone what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but see what it is. This might be it for now. But overall, for the game, it was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I had a great time. It was a very great learning experience. 13 Legionnaires were great. A bunch of guys. Apex Predators was fantastic. There was a rack of pre-teams there. A lot of people that I met online that I actually got to meet in a real person. People that I've already seen and got to hang out with again. You know what I mean? So what else? Deuces.
Just wait for the videos to come, wait for the pictures to drop. Right. We got a lot of good shit for you. You're gonna love it.
Right.
Fucking Legionnaires, you're gonna love it. We got Crash getting bunkered, breaking news. Hey, we got hot shit.
Hot shit.
So hey, stay tuned.
Energy One, shoot straight, die hard.
Bricktop the Immortal, what do you do?